Hello and welcome to my 30-day yoga challenge. This is day 26. Today's class is yoga for back strength, so we'll be looking at strengthening and increasing flexibility in the back. So find a comfortable position sitting either on the mat, on a block or on a pillow, whichever feels comfortable in the lower back and hips. Take a moment and close your eyes. Just observe how your physical body is feeling today, observing how is your natural breath and how is your mind. So remember to always listen to your own body and only do what feels comfortable. So when you're ready, bring the arms to the side of the body. As you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And we'll exhale, lower the left hand onto the floor and stretch over to the left. Inhale, come into the center, raising up. And exhale, lower the right hand onto the floor and stretch over to the right. Inhale, come into the center, stretching nice and tall. Exhale, back to the left. Inhale when you're ready, coming into the center. And exhale now over to the right. We'll do one more on each side. So inhale when you're ready, coming back to the center. Exhale one more time over to the left, really trying to lengthen the right side of the torso. Inhale, come back into the center. And exhale over to the right, stretching and lengthening the left side. Inhale, come back into the center. This time we'll exhale, lower the left hand onto the right knee. Inhale, stretch up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, lower the right hand on the floor behind the back to come into a seated spinal twist. Nice slow breathing. On your next breath in, we'll raise the hand behind you, back up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, imagine you want to lower your shoulder to your knee, stretching to the side. Inhale when you're ready, nice and slowly coming back up, raising both arms. Now we'll exhale to the other side, so lowering the right hand onto the left knee. Inhale, stretch the hand up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, lower your hand on the floor behind the back to come into a seated spinal twist on the other side. Nice slow breathing. Now as you inhale, raise the hand. When you're ready, back up to the ceiling. And exhale, lower the right shoulder towards the knee, opening the side of the torso. On your next breath in, we'll come back up and then relax the shoulders and draw the outside of the knees in and up, or take your time and come onto your hands and knees into table position. So remember that the hands are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. We'll inhale, lower the abdomen, looking to where you can see. And as you exhale, draw the abdomen in and up and round the upper back. Inhale again, lower the abdomen, looking to where you can see. And exhale, draw the abdomen in and up, rounding the back. One more. Inhale, lower the abdomen, looking up. And exhale, gently round. Well, inhale, now come into a neutral position. And as you exhale, we'll lift the hips up and back and come into downward facing dog. So walking out the legs, bending one leg and the other, really trying to bend the toes to also stretch the feet and stretch around the toes. So spreading the fingers, but pushing the weight onto your feet. We'll take a breath in. As you exhale, we'll lower into plank and inhale back to downward facing dog. We'll do this a few times. Exhale, lower into plank and inhale back to downward facing dog. Exhale, gently lower into plank. And inhale, lift up the hips and come into downward facing dog. Just pause this time. Now we'll lower the knees back onto the mat. Very gently come onto the knees and circle the wrists a few times in each direction just to relax the hands. This is really strengthening your core and also your back, doing downward facing dog and plank together. So now we'll inhale, lower the abdomen, looking up into cow, and exhale into cat pose. Inhale, lowering the abdomen, looking up, relaxing the back. And exhale gently into cat pose. Inhale, last time, lower the abdomen, looking up. And exhale, rounding the back. Now we'll inhale into a neutral position, checking the hips are above the knees. We'll walk the hands one foot forward, bring the elbows onto the mat to come into Anahata. So gently walking the elbows away, we'll take hold of each elbow, take a breath in, and as you exhale, work towards lowering the chest to wherever feels comfortable. So you may want to bring a mat or a pillow underneath you to rest your head on. You can pause the video and come back to it. Or just finding a comfortable position. The most important thing in this pose is that the hips stay above the knees. So we can straighten the left arm if that feels more comfortable, but keeping the elbows in line to keep the shoulders in line. Nice slow breathing in and out through the nose. Just observing where you feel this stretch. Now as you inhale, very slowly come back up, walking the elbows back towards you. Keeping on the elbows, we're coming to cat-cow variation. So inhale, as you exhale, round the back. Inhale again, lowering the abdomen, just looking to where you can see. And exhale, draw the abdomen in and up and round the back. Inhale, lower the abdomen, looking to where you can see. And exhale, gently round. Inhale, lowering the abdomen. Come back into a neutral position, take hold of both elbows, and we'll come back into Anahata. So again, either having the elbows, holding each elbow, or this time straightening now your right arm. Checking that the hips haven't come forward or haven't gone back towards the heels, that they stay directly above the knees. So it isn't important that the chest touches the ground, but we're lowering in that direction until wherever you feel a nice, comfortable stretch. Remember, the more you practice anything, the more relaxing and natural it will become. So just 1 or 2 more slow breaths in this pose. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Try to expand the lungs in all directions. Try and really relax into the pose, observing where you feel the stretch. On your next breath in, slowly start to lift the chest, slide the elbows back towards the knees, make your way back into table. And we'll inhale, lower the abdomen, looking up into cow, and exhale, round the back, tucking under the chin into cat pose. We'll just pause here in cat. Nice slow breathing. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Now we'll come back into a neutral position in table. Walk the hands forward and gently lower all the way onto the abdomen to come into cobra. So keeping the elbows in, we'll inhale, just lift up low to start with, and exhale very gently lower, observing how the back feels. Inhale again, lifting up a little bit higher, only if it feels comfortable, and exhale gently lower. Last time, inhale and lift into whichever height feels comfortable, listening to your own body, and exhale very gently lower. Now very gently bringing your hands one on top of the other and resting either your forehead on your chin on the back of the hands, and just resting for a few moments, just observing how the back feels. So now we're going to section the back into different parts to work on strengthening different areas of the back. So really listening to your own body. So we're bringing the arms now into goddess arms. So the elbows roughly in line with the shoulders and the wrists roughly in line with the elbows, roughly at 90-degree angles. So again, either the chin or the forehead on the mat, whatever feels comfortable on the back of the neck. So we're going to lift one arm individually, keeping the head on the floor. So we'll inhale when you're ready, lift the left arm up, and exhale very gently lower. Inhale again, lift the same arm up, and exhale lower. One last time, inhale lifting up, and exhale. Hold this pose for a few breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Really observe where in the shoulder and the upper back you feel this, and on your exhale very gently lower down. Well, inhale now, lift the right arm up, exhale gently lower, inhale lifting up, and exhale lower. Inhale one more, lifting up. Now we'll hold this pose. So keep breathing, keep your head on the ground, and observe physically if you can notice any differences from one shoulder to the other, if one arm feels more comfortable, and on your exhale gently lower down. We'll now bring the arms behind the back, interlacing the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and on your next breath in, we'll very gently lift the chin and chest off of the floor, and exhale gently lower, turning your head to one direction, just resting your head. We'll bring the head back into the center. Now we'll inhale, lift the left leg up, keeping the leg straight, exhale lower. Inhale, lift the same leg, and exhale lower. Last time, inhale, lift the leg, and exhale gently lower, keeping the hip bones on the floor as much as you can. Inhale, lift the right leg, exhale lower. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale lower. Last time, inhale, lifting up, and exhale, gently lower. Checking that the hip bones always stay on the floor without not lifting too high. So inhale, lifting up, and exhale, checking that you're really pushing the front bones into the ground. So we're just lifting up and down without the hip lifting. So now we're going to straighten the arms up over the head. We're going to do exactly the same, lifting your arm and your opposite leg. So inhale, lift the right arm, left leg, exhale, lower. Inhale, now lift the opposite arm and the opposite leg, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the right arm, left leg, exhale, lower. Now inhale, lift the left arm, right leg, and exhale, gently lower. Inhale, lift the right arm, left leg, exhale gently. Hold this pose but keep breathing. So checking that hip bone or the front of the hip is pushed down into the ground. Exhale, gently lower. Inhale, now lift the left arm, right leg. Hold this position, keep breathing just for a moment. Keep pushing the front of the hip into the ground and exhale, gently lower. Now bring the arms to the side of the body. Inhale once more, come into a cobra and exhale, gently lower down. Inhale again, coming into a cobra, and exhale, gently lower. Last time, inhale, coming into a cobra, check keeping the elbows in, and exhale, gently lower. Bring the arms back to the side of the body, turn your head to one side. Just pause here just for a moment, just relaxing the lower back, relaxing the upper back, just observing how your back feels now. So remember, any time in the class, turning your head into the other direction to have balance. If you need to stop, come into child's pose, make sure you always feel comfortable. And then remember, the more you practice it, the easier it will become. Bring the hands one more time by the side of the chest, palms facing down. And this time we're going to inhale, come into cobra. We're going to lift the hands off of the mat and exhale, very slowly lowering down. Inhale, come into cobra, hover the hands off of the mat using the strength of the back, and exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, coming into cobra, hover the hands off of the mat and exhale, very gently lower. Just pausing here. Now we'll inhale one more time, lift the left leg, exhale, gently lower, bring the hands side to side of the body. Inhale, lift the right leg and exhale, lower. Now depending on your back, you can either lift one leg or both legs, so listen to your own body. So inhale, lift either the left leg or both, exhale, lower. Now inhale, lifting either the right leg or both legs, and exhale, gently lower. Bring your hands one more by the side of the chest. We'll inhale when you're ready, keeping the elbows in. And come up onto the knees, tucking under the toes. And lower your hips to your heels, and very gently come into child's posture. So either resting your forehead on the mat if it reaches, or onto a block or a pillow. Just relaxing, stretching the back very gently in the other direction. So if you'd like to finish here, you can do. There's a few more poses if your back is feeling okay. So remember to always really listen to your body and work up to practicing deeper only in your own time. So nice slow breathing, just observing how your body feels. So always listening to your own body and only doing what feels comfortable. Remember, the more you practice this video, the easier and more relaxing it will become. Next breath in, coming up to table if you're not there already. We'll inhale, lower the abdomen, look up to the ceiling, relaxing the back in a few cat-cow breaths. And exhale very slowly, lifting the abdomen in and up and rounding the upper back. Now pausing here just for a few moments, really stretching out the back. One more breath in, we'll stretch the back one last time in the opposite direction. Pausing for a moment, and now we're going to draw the left shoulder towards the left hip. Looking towards the left hip, and then draw the right shoulder to the right hip. And do this in your own time, inhaling and exhaling from one side to the other. So this is called wagging the tail pose. So very gently come back onto the hips, onto the heels, into child's posture, lowering the forehead towards the ground. Nice slow breathing, just observing how these yoga poses have affected your back. Where have they stretched it? Where have they been strengthening it? Now we'll inhale one more time, coming to table, lower onto the forearms. We're going to straighten one leg and the other. So you can Interlace your fingers. You can have the palms together or the palms flat. So we'll start with the right leg. So we'll do this once, and then you can come into full plank if you prefer. So straightening now the left leg. So you can continue just to straighten one leg and the other. We'll do it one more time. And again, you can do it one more time after this, or if you'd like to come into full forearm plank, we can straighten both legs. So it's very important to also strengthen the abdomen as well as strengthening the back, and gently lower the knees down, very gently lower all the way onto the mat. And we'll stretch the back into a cobra. So inhale very slowly coming up, and exhale very gently lower down. Now we're going to bend the knees to come into bow pose. So if you can't touch, we'll come into half bow to start with. If you can't touch the ankle, we're going to very gently stretch the heel towards your hip. So it isn't important that you touch, because we can lift the head and shoulders off of the mat without holding the feet. If you can hold the feet, you can take hold of the ankles. So inhale one more time, lift up, exhale gently lower. And then last time, inhale, lifting up. So if you can't hold the feet, just pausing there. If you can hold the feet, we can lift the knees also off of the ground, so pushing away the heels. Nice slow breathing. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Exhale, gently lower the knees down first, and then gently lower all the way down. Turn your head to one side, just pausing. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So if you'd like to practice this video regularly, instead of having one leg straight and then the other, you can work towards practicing plank for a few seconds longer each time. Remember to really squeeze and draw in the abdomen. But just resting for a moment, we'll take one more deep breath in. And now to have balance on the neck, we'll exhale, turn the head over to the other side and pausing. So nice slow breathing. If this feels uncomfortable on the head, you can bring your head, either the chin or the forehead, onto the mat and keep your head into the center. So we're just relaxing as we're coming towards the end of the class. Just observing how the back is. Now on your next breath in, we'll bring the head into the center, hands either side of the chest. We'll inhale, push up onto the knees to come back into table, come back onto the forearms. Come into forearm cat-cow. So inhale, looking up, and exhale, round the upper back. Come back into table, or do the same again. So inhale, lower the abdomen, looking up towards the ceiling. And exhale, drawing the abdomen in and up, round in the back. Really trying to exaggerate the movements, increasing flexibility in the back. Inhale, lower the abdomen, looking up. And exhale, draw the abdomen in and up and round the upper back. One more time. Inhale, lower the abdomen, looking up. And exhale, very gently round. Inhale into a neutral position to come into a table spinal twist. We'll bring the right hand, palm facing up, underneath the left, and gently lower onto the right shoulder. Finding a comfortable position, keeping your hips above your knees. And we'll bring your left hand onto your left hip. You can either pause here. If you'd like to work a bit deeper, we can stretch the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Nice slow breathing, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Take a breath in. As you exhale, lower the hand down onto the floor in front of the face, pushing into the ground, coming back up into table, and we'll come into the other side. So now, sliding the left hand underneath the right, lowering onto the left shoulder, pausing for a moment, bring the hand onto the hip. You can either keep it there or stretch the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Nice slow breathing, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. One more deep breath in. Exhale, gently lower the hand on the floor, pushing in front of the face. Slowly come up back to table. We'll bring the hips towards the heels, the arms by the side of the body, and just relax in child pose. Gently stretching the back in a very gentle forward fold. Just observing how the back feels. Now bringing the hands in front of the knees. As you inhale, push into the mat, come up to sitting. Bring the legs to one side. And very gently shuffle all the way along. We'll come down to laying. And now we'll take a breath in. As you exhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest. And as you exhale, take it all the way over, across the body, over towards the right. And looking over towards your left hand into a very gentle one-legged spinal twist. Now pausing here, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Stretching around the back and the lower hip. Gently coming into the center, lowering the leg down. Now inhaling, drawing the right knee into the chest, and as you exhale, cross the leg across the body, over towards the left. Sliding the right hand in line with the shoulder, now looking towards the fingertips. Just pausing. Observe if you feel the stretch more around the hip or the lower back. Gently inhaling, coming to the center. Draw both knees into the chest, give them a hug, and rock from side to side. So then massaging and relaxing the back. You can circle the legs in one direction. And then we'll come into happy baby pose. So we can either hold the outside of the calves, the outside of the ankles, or if you can reach the outside of the feet, and we're drawing the knees towards the floor by the side of the body, and gently rock from side to side. So whichever part of the leg you're holding, it doesn't matter. Just to open the hips, also relax the back. Now draw the legs together, the feet, or soles of the feet towards each other, and rock a few more times. Give the knees one more hug. So you can rock from side to side if you prefer, or just drawing the knees into the chest and keeping the back flat. Now depending on how your back feels, you can either keep your knees bent, draw the knees together, or you can have your legs straight, so depending on how your back feels, to come into Shavasana. So the arms just by the side of the body, whichever of the two positions you're in. Closing the eyes, relaxing the shoulders down the back. So this is your last pose today to allow you to completely relax. So letting go of any control now of the breath. Any thoughts that come into your mind, just allow them to gently pass by. Just allow the whole of the body to become soft, heavy, and completely relaxed. Now on your next breath in, very gently draw the knees into the chest, give them a hug. Gently rock from side to side, massaging the back. And then when you're ready, rock completely onto your right hand side. Just pause for a moment. Push with the left hand on the floor in front of the face into the ground. Come back to sitting. We can either sit on a block or a pillow or on the floor, whichever feels comfortable. Spine nice and tall, relaxing the shoulders down the back. So just observing how your physical body feels now. Observing how is the breath and how is the mind. So remember, if you'd like to finish this yoga class with a meditation, there's a link below if you have more time. Otherwise, bringing the hands together in front of the heart, we'll take a breath in, and as you exhale, we'll finish with Namaste. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Please remember to like this video if you've enjoyed it, and also share with family and friends. Goodbye.